Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome this Friday lunchtime UK time to a live question and answer session hosted by me, Carl, on behalf of TEFL.org. I hope you're all doing well. We are live on Facebook and we're live on... Oh, some microphone crackling already. What have we got going on with the microphone? Let's see what I can do here. Maybe let's try that. Is that better? Some microphone crackling. Is that any better? Hello, everybody. If you are there, say hello to me and let me know that you're out there. Tell us where you are in the world and tell us what you're doing in your TEFL job life. Are you newly qualified? Are you looking to qualify? Are you doing the course at the moment? Just let us know what you're doing. I'm hoping you can hear me. Yep, microphone's good. That's good. So hello, Victoria, Shimmy, Jelisil, Jess, is that Jess? Oh, hello, Jess. Hello, Gary, Rose, Chen, Steffi, Claudia, Jeff, Costa del Sol, Jeff. Oh, I wish I was on the Costa del Sol. I do a lot of work in Spain and I haven't been out there all this year. Rose, you're almost qualified. Good. Chen, looking to qualify. Good. So basically on these live question and answer sessions, we usually have a theme, and in that theme we I usually talk about something, so setting yourself up online and the questions are answered around that. But we have, over the last couple of weeks, had loads of people just send us through sort of random questions about TEFL. So today's is a bit more open. Any questions you have about the industry of teaching English as a foreign language, how to get a job, traveling abroad, because good news about the vaccine, you never know, we might all be going abroad again soon. Anything about sort of within a classroom, the different types of English, anything that you have, just get it going. Okay, any questions at all? And I feel like there's a couple already that we've had sent through, and I don't know whether they will appear in your live bit down the right hand side, but I'm just going to answer them first. So we've got one from Liam O'Doherty. Hello, Liam. Can you start online teaching in retirement, or does it suit younger people only? Oh, I like that one, Liam. Of course you can start online teaching in retirement. You do not, it is definitely not a young person's game, whatever. Is that a good phrase? I don't know if that's a good phrase. I mean, I'm in my 40s and I do it. I should probably introduce myself. I'll tell you a bit more after I've answered Liam's question about what I do. So Liam, definitely you can start in retirement, and you will find that there are certain students that would prefer a more mature teacher. There are parts of the world where age is seen as a good thing for a teacher. I can remember teaching in the Middle East, and some of the teachers that were a little bit older than me, sort of in their 60s, commanded great respect from their students, and that was really good. So Liam, definitely you can start teaching online in your retirement. Okay, you will find that people do not hold that against you. The only barrier that comes up with age is if you want to get a visa to work in another country. So just, there are maximum age limits for some visas if you want to go abroad, but online doesn't seem to be a problem. Elizabeth, hello, Elizabeth She. How do you recommend that new ESL teachers develop their own curriculum, even if curriculum is initially provided by the employer? That's a good question, Elizabeth. So, right. If you need to develop your own curriculum, now the reason why I'm hesitant a little bit, Elizabeth, is that why would you not want to use the curriculum provided by your employer? The reason being is because quite often in a good school or a good employer, the curriculum will be linked from level to level. So the elementary level curriculum will be linked to the pre-intermediate and afterwards, and then before that the beginners, so that everything is linked together and builds on each other. So I'm not quite sure why you would need to develop your own curriculum being like the overview of what you're going to learn over the course of a term, or even a course of a year, or even a course of 5 years curriculums. Okay, Now, if you then are, if your question is about developing your own lessons and activities, right, the first thing that I would recommend you do is stick to a textbook and then see if you can supplement it with extra activities. And on something like our online 120-hour TEFL or courses, they will teach you how to create your own lessons and how to create your own activities. But on the whole, I think if you're new and you're starting up, get yourself a textbook, try and stick, and then hopefully the curriculum you're studying from is linked to a textbook, and then try and get, keep the lessons, no, let me start that again. So then try and supplement the textbook that's used for the curriculum, if that makes sense. You shouldn't need to develop a whole new curriculum, but you will have to develop lessons within that. Okay, I don't know if that helps you. Mola, hello. What do you recommend would help one stand out from the rest to better their chances at finding freelance work? Right, Mola, good question. So if you're trying to set yourself up as an online freelance teacher, so that means you're sort of recruiting your own students, you're handling the money, you're in charge of basically everything that involves around it. My number one tip for that is to have a good niche. And what I mean by niche is don't try and teach all of English. Don't sort of advertise yourself as Mola the English teacher. Try and narrow down what part of English you're going to teach. So could you be Mola the written business English teacher? So think about things that you might enjoy teaching and see if you can go down that route. I have my own website where I teach a certain part of a certain English test. So there's lots of English tests out there. I'm not Carl I don't want to say the name of the test, the English test man. I'm Carl, the writing part of the English test man. Why do I do that? Because it helps me to narrow down my advertising. It also means that students are more likely to find you in Google searches and that kind of thing. It also can help you with your Facebook pages being known as that kind of thing. So definitely narrow it down. And we do have on our website, the TEFL.org website, we have a lovely blog post about finding your niche. So go to TEFL.org and then click on the blog bit here, click on that, and then you can search. And if you type in niche, N-I-C-H-E, you'll be able to find something there. Okay, so definitely the best way to do it is to get as narrow a niche as you can. All right, good. Thank you, Mola. Let me get to some questions that are live. Those ones were sent in before us. Steffi, you're in Reading? I'm from Reading. Hello. Good. You're looking to qualify, Chen. Good, you're in the right place. You got any questions about it, let me know. Cassia, looking forward to teaching online. Good. Jessica in France. You want to teach in France? Oh, I'd love to teach in France. France can be a little bit more difficult of the European countries to get jobs in. Not impossible at all. You'll find that there's a lot of freelance teachers in France who kind of find students their own way, yeah? But you tend to need to have quite a good level of French to go and work in the schools. That seems to be something. So Jessica, if you've got a good level of French and sounds like you're in France, and then you probably have, I hope it works out for you. Amanda, you're on your last assignment. Good. Hope you enjoy it. Barbara, you've just started 120 hours in Leicester. Good. Gary, you have one key question. How do you manage groups online? Individuals are easy by comparison. Yes, that's a very good question, Gary. So I'm going to make a couple of assumptions here, Gary. You're working for a company and that the students are on individual accounts, because sometimes you do teach online and there's a group of students in a room on the other side, so they've just got one camera between them. That is a bit different. But I'm going to talk first of all about if you've got them in online. So you've got, for example, Chen is here and Yu is here and Yao is here, and they're all over your screen. Breakout rooms is obviously the most easiest way of doing it. So things like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, whatever product it is you're using to teach, will allow you to split the students up into rooms, and then you can jump in. So how you do it is you set the task up in the main room with everyone here. I get them to take a photo of it with their phone, whatever the task is you're doing, because if not, you've got to, quite often with some of the software, they lose the screen when you put them into a breakout room, if that makes sense. So if I've written a PowerPoint or something and I've got a task up on the screen, I then get the students to take a photo of it, something like that. Then I split them up into breakout rooms to complete it, and then you can jump between those rooms, listening in on them, making sure they're doing their work, you know, do the error correction, all that kind of thing. Then you bring them back. So breakout rooms is the best way. Difficult, obviously, because you tend to find that the teacher talking time is a bit higher, and really, I don't personally think you can teach more than about 8 in one group online, myself live. That's what I think, because it's just too many, gets too many for you to manage. If they're a group over there, so for example, some Chinese schools will have will have like 4 or 5 or 6 students sitting in a classroom, and you're teaching them through a computer. If that's the kind of thing, then, you know, I tend to, if I've done that before, and I've only done it a couple of times, I'm not an expert. You hopefully you know their names, and you just sort of split them up. You give them a task, and then it's difficult for you to hear it, what there is they're going into, but then you get them to then feedback basically, and they take it in turns, that kind of thing. I hope that helps you, Gary. Good. Shirley, you're looking to get more information. Please do ask then. Any questions you got at all? Shimmy Jimmy, love that. Which countries do you recommend that are accepting British teachers? You've been stranded in the UK for about a year away from my job in China, and I doubt I'll be able to return anytime soon. China would be my first choice, but I now have to think about options in other countries. So, Jimmy, if you're thinking about going back to China eventually, I would look for places where you can get a bit of part-time work, maybe like a term's work. And for that sort of thing, you're probably looking in Europe. I know language schools in Spain are up and running. I mean, Spain is having problems with going in and out of lockdown, but you know, a bit of, if you sort of do some Googling about which areas seem to be less affected, I've definitely seen some of the schools that I've worked at as an examiner in Spain opening up and just going like that again, and then recruiting students. So then you might be able to contact them, see if they've got any work, or you might need to fly to a city, you know, book yourself into an Airbnb or something like that for a week, and then try and find some work when you're out there. But I know that Spain are definitely. I don't think there's any difference really saying that British teachers are more than accepted than others at the moment. I feel like it's sort of, some places are sort of willing to take anyone. But I mean, just Google, look at jobs online, look on the job board that we've got. So if I just quickly show you that one, if you go to our TEFL website and you go to at the top here, tefl.org, if you go up here, TEFL jobs, you can see that there's some Chinese jobs being advertised here at the moment. So maybe some of those, Mexico, there's a job there. So you got to think, why would they be paying to advertise if they weren't taking people on? Okay, so I've had people starting up in China recently, but they just had to quarantine for 2 weeks before they got there. Okay, but yeah, go to our tefl.org website and see if you can find anything on there. Okay, good. Hello, Sam Taylor. Hello. You don't have a degree. Would I be able to get work with a TEFL qualification? Yes, you would be, for sure. So, right. So it depends if you want to work online or not online. It does make a difference. So let's go first of all, because of the good news of the vaccine, let's start talking about working in a physical classroom. There are places around the world that take on people without a degree. There are countries where you need to get a degree in order to get the work permit, but there are parts of the world where that isn't the case. Europe, for example, doesn't necessarily need a degree in order for you to get work, because if you've got a EU passport, you can just go there and you can work around the world. Okay, somewhere like Asia, yeah, some parts. So, for example, China, you need to have a degree in order to get a work visa to go there. But places such as Cambodia does not. Thailand, I'm not quite sure on Thailand is, but I know of people that sort of go in on a tourist visa, try and find some work over there, and then can then convert it. That's something that you need to sort of Google and make sure yourself. You can get a working holiday visa for Japan, and then that'll get you into Japan. And then once you're there, that will allow you to work for a few months in one place. That will get you around Japan, that kind of thing. If you want to work online, then jobs will very clearly say whether a degree is needed or a degree is not needed. I would just say go for any of them, even ones that say you need a degree, because you never know, they might still take you on, because obviously working online, you don't need to get the work visa, which means you'll be okay. Amanda, hello. How do you know if online jobs are genuine? I believe there are a few based in China that are dodgy. Right. First things first, never ever, if they ask you for money, so I've seen jobs on some websites, because there are a lot of EFL and ESL websites out there that are advertising. And I see them say, yes, if you pay us £100, we will get you work. Don't ever go down that route of having to pay to get a job. Those ones are dodgy. Okay. Next, right. There is, when you're going for EFL jobs, either online or in a classroom, there is a leap of faith that you will have to take at some point, because quite often they will ask you to, for example, send photocopies of your passport, your degree certificates, your certifications, and people don't like to do that. However, I have done that in Vietnam, Japan, Sri Lanka, Azerbaijan, Iraq, Kazakhstan. I'm trying to think. I think South Africa. I've done that in all these countries and never had a problem. Okay, so it's just part of the process of getting an EFL job. Okay, and that is either online or if you're going to go study abroad. Okay, so you're going to go work abroad. Okay, it's just something that happens, right? There is the next leap of faith that you got to take, and you might have to take, is you might not get any money coming in straight away. So you might go and work for, 3 weeks before you get any money coming in. Okay. But that's kind of normal. I've had jobs in McDonald's where that doesn't happen. I've had jobs at British universities where you don't get any money for maybe the first 4 weeks, 6 weeks. So there is something like that. The big alarm bells, Amanda, would be if they ask you for money up front. But everything else in the contract should show you. Okay, you should be fine. All right. Don't pay any money. Rose, hello. Any tips are starting up after qualification? Build a web page. What are the best places to source work? Right. So you've just qualified. Fine. I would, if you're looking to do online because you're building a web page, I would do a few things. Okay. Firstly, I would start advertising if you're in the UK or America or Australia, like an English speaking country, and I would start advertising locally. So believe it or not, there will be people in the city or the town where you are, wherever you are in an English speaking country, that want to have a teacher. Okay, I've found work, for example, advertising on local bulletin boards on Facebook. I've found work advertising on Gumtree, and you just put something, hello, I'm Rose, I'm an English as a second language teacher, because that's what it's called when you're learning English in an English speaking country. If you need any help with this or that, I can help you. Okay, do that. All the while you're building your web page. You definitely need to build a web page, okay, because long term having your own web page will be the main source of customers coming in, and you might get some done that. So, but it's not going to be quick if you start building a website. Next thing, set yourself up on like hosting EFL sites such as Italki, where you can sort of advertise yourself and try and get work through that way. All the while, you're also applying to recruiters to get jobs. Okay, don't rely just on recruiters to get you work quickly, because unfortunately that might not be the case. All right. Hope that helps you. Kathleen, there was a question there. I've lost it now. From Kathleen about competitiveness. Yes. How competitive is it to get a teaching job abroad? Good question, Kathleen. Right. I always sort of think about, it depends where you're wanting to go. And then usually people hit me back with a country. So I'll say, where do you want to go? They'll say Japan. And then my reply to that is, okay, where in Japan? Japan is a big country, 100 million people, whatever it is, or 80 million people, I can't remember. Do you want to work in Tokyo? And they'll say yes. And you say, okay, right, fine. But everybody wants to work in Tokyo. Have you thought about working in Hokkaido? Have you thought about working in Osaka, Nagoya, I've forgotten, Kyoto, for example? Less people, the place where you want to go, where everybody goes to. Spain, it would be Barcelona. Everybody wants to go work in Barcelona, you know. Mexico, everybody wants to work in Mexico City, for example. You know, try and branch yourself out, because you will find, for example, in Spain, there's lots and lots of cities, and in those cities, there's lots and lots of language schools, and some of those language schools do struggle to recruit teachers. So think outside the box a bit, Kathleen, if you are finding that it is too competitive. But what I would say to you is, if you've got a good qualification that is accredited, you shouldn't really have a problem. You will find work. Okay, good. I hope that answers. I said good, as in I said to myself I'm good. I don't know if that's right. Barbara, hello. Is it possible to teach mainly online without travelling? Like Liam's question, I'm in the older group and don't fancy the large classroom setting at the mo. Yeah, you don't need to travel anywhere to teach online, Barbara. I think I've got your question. You can do it from your house. If your house is in Belfast, you can teach online to the world, depending on time difference. You know, you don't need to go travelling, if that makes sense. I hope that answers your question. Alsol, how do you think AI will change the English teaching industry? Will it reduce job opportunities? I don't think so. I've been doing this about 20 years, Alsol, and there's always been, you're going to be replaced by computers. You are, yeah, you'll be replaced by computers. You won't be a teacher, you'll be replaced by a computer. There'll be a computer doing your job. 20 years later, I'm still going. There's still jobs available. There's still people learning English. The one thing I think it might change is examining. I think that exams will go more online, and you won't need people like me to mark the exams, which will make me sad, because I'm also an EFL examiner. But also, I could talk for an hour on that. Good question. Laura, you're really interested in teaching English abroad but have no idea where to start. What should be my first step? So your first step, Laura, should be to think about where you want to go, and then start thinking. And then there's country guides on our website about where to go and teach. So think of, places where you want to go, do some Googling and decide sort of a country that you feel you might be happy with. Then start looking to see if at the moment with COVID they are recruiting, and start applying. If you see something that you like, start to think about things like the wage, the cost of living, where you're going to go, that kind of thing. Research. There's loads of pages on our website about that. I'll see if I can find them as I'm answering another question, because it seems like something that people are doing. Okay. Chris, hello. What's the best textbook for refugees in the UK? That's a good question, Chris. So if you're teaching refugees in the UK, from my experience of teaching refugees in the UK, they tend to be really, really low level. So like what we would sort of say is false beginner. They're not even quite a beginner. They're sort of A0 level, A0 level. I've not used a textbook for that, because I've never found a textbook that low. There's a great website called ESOL, ESOL Nexus. It's run by the British Council, ESOL Nexus. That has some really good stuff on there for refugees, because you need to start a sort of vocabulary level, building in the grammar as you go. Good. I'm just going to search for job abroad in our blog post, see if I can find anything. Carla, hello. Is that a question? Yes, I think it is. Hello, Carl. Hi, Carla. Carla, hello. London, on the 120-hour TEFL course, I hope, or the 20-hour course. You know about today's topic, but once I finish the online course, will the course be available for us to be revised wherever we wanted to? It's a good question, Carla, and I don't know that. I don't know if Alan can answer that one. I'm sorry, I don't know. Montaha, hello. You're having a hard time understanding verbs, phrasal verbs and some other grammar, even though you're a native speaker. I'm afraid that I won't be able to explain why we speak the way we speak. Any advice? Right. if you're going to be teaching grammar, what you need to do is learn English grammar very, very step by step. Okay, so for example, if you're going to be learning, hello class, today we're going to be learning the past simple. Yesterday, the day before, you have done nothing but look at the grammar for the past simple, Googled it, look in the back of the textbooks, how they present it, all that kind of thing, and then do it step by step. And then you'll get some clever student that will say to you, but teacher, what about the past perfect? Isn't that the past perfect? And you'll be like, I don't know what the past perfect is. But you just say to them, thank you very much, Chen, for that question. But today we're doing the past simple. In a couple of weeks, we'll do the past perfect. That's how I got through the first few questions, the first few weeks, almost the first couple of years of teaching, okay? Then you might give them a task and you're frantically on the internet seeing if you can find an answer to Chen's question about the past perfect, all right? So just think, okay, this is what we're doing today and this is what we're staying on. Phrasal verbs, if anyone doesn't know, is when you get a verb and you usually add something like a preposition to it and it might change the meaning. So for example, jump on is different from jump over, okay? Also, there's phrases, there's some verbs such as have, which sort of go through a lot of phrasal verbs because have has lots of different definitions. If you need to learn them, or right, first of all, understand, look in a good grammar book, what is a phrasal verb. If you're going to teach them, don't try and teach too many at once. Try and think, okay, today we're going to teach this subset of phrasal verbs, and you sort of stick to them. Don't just say, right, today we're going to do all the phrasal verbs. There's too many, okay? Quite often you do it connected. So you say, today we're going to do the phrasal verbs for jump, and you just spend an hour just doing about the jump ones. Then the next way it might be something like talk. And then next week you do talk, whatever it might be. Okay? But step by step by step. Montaha. Good. Daniel, I have had a haircut. Thank you very much. Although I'll let you into a secret. I haven't paid for a haircut in years, almost 20 years. I've always cut my hair. And today my wife said I missed a bit. So actually at the back there's a big bit I've missed. But luckily you don't get to see the back of my head. You'd like to teach in Southeast Asia? And then lovely place to go. Chen. Does the course include teaching practice hours like is required with the Trinity one? Right, so right, Chen, what we offer here at TEFL.org is a 120-hour online course, and then you can do a practical weekend add-on on top of that, or a 2-day or 3-day course, and we're also currently running that online as well for people that can't get to our courses. The Trinity one, you might be thinking of something like the 4-week course, like a CELTA or a Trinity certificate. That is a very different course. Okay, that is a lot more expensive than ours. That lasts 4 weeks full-time in a classroom, or you can do them part-time over the course of 6 months or something like that. Okay, and if you're going to go down that route, takes a lot more, takes a lot longer, costs a lot more money. If you want to get up and running quickly, get teaching more quickly and more cheaply, just do our course, and that is accepted in lots of places around the world to get yourself some work. Okay. Sam, hello. Do you think there's been an oversaturation of newly qualified teachers since the pandemic, but therefore making it harder to find work? No, I don't think so, Sam. I think a lot of people have tried to get into EFL or this year. I don't want to lie to you, but the flip side of that is there's been a lot more classes that are online, so there's also been a lot more students available. And I think that long term there might have been a slight shift from sort of going classrooms to going online. So I think long term, I think that there's still going to be loads of work. There are a lot of people who have got qualified recently, but I know a lot of people that have started up working recently. So I do think that there's there's things individual and stuff like that available for you. Okay, good. Faye, hello. Hi, what extracurricular groups would you recommend creating whilst teaching English abroad? By extracurricular groups, do you mean like a class outside of the classroom? So like something like a drama? Right. I don't know what job you're going for, Faye, but just check whether that kind of thing will be paid in your contracts. That sort of thing can start to take up a load of time. And if you're newly qualified as a teacher, you might need that time for marking, lesson planning, all that kind of thing. But things like drama are usually good. Things like film clubs, book clubs, that kind of thing can do. Okay. Good. Harriet, hello. You've almost finished your 120 hours, wanted to teach online. Former lawyer. Is confidence in English for lawyers a reasonable niche? Yeah, but I think you could probably go down the route of just a legal English teacher. I would not go. That confidence in English. I mean, it's a nice way. I don't know how many people would Google confidence in English for lawyers, because you want people to Google it in order for them to come to you. I would go more down the route of legal English. There's not that many people that can offer legal English well. My worst ever class was teaching legal English. I tried to blotch my way through a class of judges in Azerbaijan, and it went horrendously. Okay. All right. So just, I would just get on the legal English route. Steve, don't you need a paid Zoom account to teach a group? No, I don't. I think the paid ones are for the length of time and the amount of numbers. So it does depend how many the numbers are. Okay. All right. So I don't think you need to pay it to get the breakout rooms. Phil, broad question, but in your experience, is business English more in demand in some countries, regions than others? Yes, I would say for sure. I think Japan, it's a big part of business. Business English is a big part of that. Parts of China as well. So I think it's probably more in demand in East Asia. Saying that, I have also taught business English in Vietnam, and I've also taught business English in Azerbaijan. I don't think I've taught business English anywhere else. No, I haven't. But I think probably yes, tend to be the richer countries, Phil. Okay. Good. Steffi, a degree in teaching or any type of degree. You can know any type of degree. You don't need to have something like a PGC or something like that. They let you take any sort of degree. Okay, good. Claudia, is TEFL certificate enough to teach immigrants, refugees in the UK? Yes, for sure. They, yes, something like our 120-hour certificate will definitely give you the knowledge in order to go teach immigrants and refugees in the UK. You don't need any sort of degree or anything like that to teach volunteer jobs. There are also paid jobs teaching refugees. At the moment with COVID, that's a bit difficult, but definitely have a look at that. Like your local FE college will maybe have some vacancies for that kind of thing. Okay, good. Victoria, you have a primary school teacher degree and you're doing a 120-hour TEFL course. Would this degree be all right? Yep, that would be fine. You could even go work in an international school teaching EFL with that, which would probably get you a bit more pay. Gary, thanks for that. Isadora, hello. Are the jobs around the world only for native speakers? No, not at all. There's blog posts on our website about how to get work if you're not a native speaker. What I would say to you is, why not try and teaching online in your own country? I quite often teach people that are maybe 10 miles down the road online. Try that. Okay. Angelique, is the 120-hour course enough to teach in Europe? Yes, it is. That will get you a certified TEFL certificate, and which is also accredited. That's the key thing, is to look for accreditation on the course you're doing, and then that will get you some work. Yes. Alison, hello. Is it better to work self-employed or for an agency? Can you work for more than one agency? Yes, of course you can, Alison. I work for about 6 different companies myself. I have sort of 6 different companies, and sometimes that one company will give me loads of work and then I won't hear from them for a while and then they'll come back. But saying that, I do have a lot of qualifications and, a couple of decades of teaching experience. Getting lots of work where you get little short contracts is difficult to get. You sort of have to put your name out there. But I also, when I started teaching online, I got some work from I got work from a recruiter whilst also setting myself up online with my own website. And then I worked a bit from that, until I was lucky enough to sort of wean myself off the recruiter and started getting the stuff in myself. Okay, good. Jessica, would a Facebook page be a good alternative to a web page for finding work? The thing that I would say to you, Jessica, is that a Facebook page is the quickest way to get you up and running. Okay, you are very much limiting yourself to the sort of the amount of work you can get going in. I get way more people contacting me on my web page than I do on my Facebook page. Okay. Also looks a bit more professional if you can send people to your website, and that way you can sort of get them, hook them in a bit more for things like trial lessons for £1 or whatever it is you might be doing. Okay. But I would say the more the better. Have a YouTube channel, have everything. Okay. Anya, you completed your 150-hour course and now teach a language assistant, and I'm wondering what's the best way to find a job in Austria? Very specific one there, Austria. Do you know what, Anya? I don't think anyone has ever asked me for work in Austria. Germany, people have asked, but Austria, no. I would say the best way to find a job in Austria is to Google language schools in the city you want to go and work in and see if you can find work that way. Okay, and then contact them directly. Okay, good. I hope that has that helped you. I'm not sure it did, Anya. I'm sorry if it didn't. Rachel, any advice for teaching younger kids online who are disengaged playing up? Yeah, it's a difficult one. Right, Rachel, you might not like this answer. The first thing you might want to look at is, are your lessons fun enough? Are they interested enough to keep them going? Okay. Secondly, I would, if you believe they are, you know, you could, if they're groups, try and make it like a game. You know, try and, you know, if there's bad behavior, give them marks off or add marks to good behavior on like a whiteboard you might have behind you, or written on the shared screen, something like that. Start to, if they're really bad, start to make a diary of when they start playing up, in order to tell the parents or something like that, just so you've got some evidence that they're doing. Okay, that's how I've got about it. Daniela, hello. You did the 120-hour online course, and I think if anything, it's made me feel like teaching English is going to be really hard. Oh no. Oh, all right. I wanted to start with teaching online, but that seems harder than being in a classroom. Would it be easy to start teaching children in the classroom? I personally think it's probably easier to start teaching in the classroom, but if you are not in that position where you can go abroad and teach in the classroom, I would start, if you and you are still worried. Now, everybody gets nervous when they first qualify. I get nervous when I meet a student for the first time. I'm meeting a new student today in about 20 minutes who I've never met before, and do you know what? I'm a little bit nervous. You don't know how it's going to be. It's natural to feel nervous about it, but once you get going in whichever one you do and you get that first lesson out of the way, you'll be fine. Okay, good. Barbara, would you recommend one of the online teacher practice courses by TEFL.org? I'm going to say your TEFL.org there. Yes, I would. I think it's a good way of giving you the confidence to get you teaching, and also if you do some of the more practical ones, it will give you an example to get going. Okay. Good. Wendy, hello. You've begun teaching 2 children online in China, and the parents supply the materials. Oh, wow. It's for reading books for American children. It's not always appropriate. I use classes. Is there any other teaching? Ooh, right. That's an interesting one. The parents supplied the materials. That's an interesting one. I would look down see if you can get some online graded readers. So if you type into Google graded, Graded readers, you might find, for example, they'll get stories for the lower ones. They'll make Cinderella of a certain grade for children, for example. Moving up to things like Harry Potter, you can get for graded readers. Okay, so I would look the option for graded readers. I don't know how much they cost though. Sorry, Wendy. NN, hello. What would be the first few things? I've only got about 5 more minutes, guys, but I'm going to keep going. What would be the first few things I would need to do or be mindful to teach in Thailand? I'm halfway through 100 hours doing, so I've got no experience in teaching. Right, if you're going to go teach in Thailand, one of the big things is your formal wear. They expect you to be dressed well in Thailand. When I've worked in Southeast Asia, they do expect you to be dressed quite well. Okay, so that would be something like that. Next thing is you need to be aware of there's little things like in Thailand they don't like sort of being touched and things like that on their heads, so just that kind of thing. And then the next thing I would sort of go down the route of their pronunciation is going to be generally quite bad from the Thai students I've had, so you've got to work about pronunciation. Jane, you're 54 years old, so young. Wow. No, absolutely not too old to get into TEFL at all. They will like you for sure. Getting a visa can be difficult at 65, but you can definitely get yourself in and work around Europe for sure up over the age of 65. Get yourself out there, get yourself doing it, Jane. Never too old. Ella, hello. High Wycombe. I'm from Reading, not far away from you, but I now live in Belfast. Looking to start TEFL quality to teach in Peru. Wow. With your experience abroad, how do you prepare lessons for schools with limited resources? That is a very good question. Now, Ella, what I have found as my days have gone on, so for example, if there's no photocopiers and all that kind of thing, then I have found that quite often there's now students with their internet. So for example, I've taught in some countries where there's not really libraries and that kind of thing. And I got around that by sending stuff to groups, to shared folders, and they downloaded them on their computers, to their phones. And you sort of go down that route if you're doing reading exercises, all that kind of thing. I have never... Right, I've taught in, some poor parts of the world and also some quite rich parts of the world. I've never sort of taught anywhere where there's zero resources. Okay. Never. It's not really ever been sort of a problem with me. So I would, do some really good research. If they say they've got no resources, just check what exactly do they have, because they probably have something. Okay. Christelle, possible to find a job in Germany without a degree. Germany is one of the more difficult places in Europe to get work. Why? Because there's less jobs, because Germans speak on the whole really good English. So it is possible. What I would start to do is just go to the cities where you want to live, Google language schools, and then email them and see if there's any work. Quite often they want you to already be out there. Okay, that can be one of the difficult things. Okay. Angelique, you're a qualified teacher assistant. Will this also help towards work? Yes, for sure. Yes, you can, Angelique. It would definitely help. I would be quite inclined to sort of give for that person to stand out a bit in a pile of CVs or something like that. Okay. It would definitely help you, especially with teaching kids. There is the added clause for 2 days. I don't know whether Alan can put that up, or whether there is, if I go to quickly our website, if you go to TEFL.org courses, you can see there's like virtual classroom TEFL courses. So these are online, 20 hours, and there's the fees there. There's also sort of add-ons that you can do there, and I can see we've got some discounts there. Okay, so yeah, there's also, obviously at the moment we do them in classrooms. So I usually teach the ones here in Northern Ireland and around Ireland, but with COVID they're coming and going whether they can do that. Okay, I think we might be at the end there. Gary, use Google Meet. Yes, definitely better than Zoom. What level of knowledge would you need if you're teaching a particular niche? Well, Jeff, the more knowledge you have, the better. And the reason why you can get a niche is because you don't need to have such a wide range of knowledge. If you're going to go teach all business English, you need a lot of knowledge about business English. If you're going to go teach, I don't know, email business English, you just need to sort of know a bit, you're teaching sort of email grammar, email vocabulary, a little bit of reading, and you're probably teaching formal, informal language, that kind of thing. Okay, so the more narrow your niche is, the less knowledge you need. Barbara, you're a lot older than that, Jane. Good. Good. Right, everyone, I think that's me done. I can't see any more questions there. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this live question and answer session. If you have got any more questions, contact us. You can contact us on the website. In the bottom right corner, there's a chat function. If you're on the Facebook page, you can send us a message, and whoever the team will answer it, they'll try and answer it. If they can't, they'll forward them on to me, and then I will try and answer it for them. Okay, guys. Thank you. Some of those questions were amazing. I really enjoyed them. Okay. We'll try and do another one next week or the week after. We'll see how we go. Thanks, guys. Good luck with your TEFL journey, whatever it is you're going to be doing, whether you're going to get work or you're already working, whatever it is. I've really enjoyed that, guys. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend. Bye.